Hello, my name's Jennifer Killick and I am the author of the World Book Day book, Creepy Creations. So I really love writing horror comedy stories, and Creepy Creations is a story set in the world of my Dreadwood series. So Dreadwood is about a group of students. At the beginning of the story, they are not friends, they don't really like each other, but they go through such horrific, spooky, jump scary, disgusting things together that they kind of grow to become friends and to trust one another. So the stories that I like to write usually involve some kind of monster. I really like a bad baddie, like an evil, creepy baddie, and the villains in Dreadwood stories are so horrible that I actually have nightmares about them myself quite often. I love basing my stories on scientific facts, so I use real creatures as inspiration for my mutated monsters. And I love writing about friendships, about groups of people and how they come together and how they deal with challenging situations when things get bad. I love to throw in a few jokes and some humour to lighten those scary moments as well. So that's me, that's Dreadwood, and that's the kind of thing that I love to write. I wanted to give you my top tips for reading. So I know it can be hard to find time to fit in reading. So what I like to do is I like to read a little bit every day, last thing before I go to sleep. That works for me because number one, I'm super comfy and cozy in bed, and number two, it means that when I go to sleep, my head is full of amazing things and I have really weird dreams. I also think though, reading should be fun. If you're reading a book for pleasure and you're not enjoying it, there's nothing wrong with putting it down and looking for something else instead. All books are suited to different people, so you'll find something you love even if it's different from what everyone else around you loves. And I wanted to show you where I like to read. So as you can see, being cozy is really important to me. I like to have lots of warm blankets. I like to have my cuddly toys and teddy bears, and also, if possible, I like to have my dog Daisy with me as well. Snuggly reading for me is the best reading. Hi, I'm Jennifer Killick, author of World Book Day book Creepy Creations, and I wanted to tell you what I'm excited to read this year. So I have got into shonen manga over the last couple of years, and there are loads on my list that I haven't got to yet, especially One Punch Man, so I'll definitely be reading that. I also recently read a graphic novel of Skullduggery Pleasant and I loved it, so now I feel like I need to go back and read that book series because I never really explored it properly before. So for me, I think it's going to be manga, graphic novels, comics, anything fun, anything full of adventure, maybe some horror as well because I do quite like a scare. I wanted to share with you one of my favourite stories, and it is this Demon Slayer. Now Demon Slayer is a manga. It's the first manga that I read, so it has a real special place in my heart, and it was the manga that opened a whole world of stories to me. So it's about this main character Tanjiro and his sister Nezuko, and they live in a world where there are demons, and there are people that fight the demons called demon slayers. And the story is about Tanjiro's quest to become a demon slayer and to help save his sister Nezuko, and it is full of good versus evil. The characters are characters that will really go to your heart. You will love them and you will hate the bad ones. I love it, and I think it's the perfect way into manga. One of my favourite recent reads is this, You Choose Christmas. So I love a picture book, and there is a whole series of these You Choose books. The Christmas one is my favourite because I love Christmas. So basically on each page there are options of things that you can choose to make your own version, and you can choose something different every time. So for this page you can choose which Christmas jumper you might wear, but there are pages where you can choose which present you would buy for someone, which present you would want yourself, what kind of house you'd want to live in to wait for Father Christmas. And these books, they're just, every time you open them you see something different. You get to make a different choice and explore all the possibilities of that choice. So I highly recommend the You Choose books, especially the Christmas one if, like me, you are a Christmas fan. Interdimensional Explorers by Lorraine Gregory. I don't know if you've read any of Lorraine Gregory's books before, but they are full of warmth and imagination and wit. And in this story, the main characters find their way into an interdimensional lost property office where things from the multiverse end up and they need to be sent back to their homes. And the adventure takes a twist when there are some very horrible, sinister baddies who want to do some very bad things. But their characters are really relatable. The story is funny, the story is exciting. I highly recommend it. One of my very favourite stories, this One Piece. So One Piece is a shonen manga. There are many volumes, so it's a big investment in your time, but it is so worth it. It's about pirates, a pirate called Luffy who wants to be king of the pirates, and how he gathers his crew together, and the crew are called the Straw Hats, and they go on these incredible adventures on these different islands and worlds that are so detailed and so crazy and weird, and it gets super dark and super stressful. But most of all, One Piece is just joyful. Luffy is a hilarious character, and if I could go into any book series ever in the whole world, I would want to be in One Piece, on the Going Merry or the Sunny with the Straw Hats, going on those adventures with them. They're just the best group of friends, and One Piece to me is living your dream and friendship and joy, so I really recommend it. The Legend of Podkin One Ear by Kieran Larwood. What I love about this book is it takes you on an adventure in a world that you wouldn't get to see in real life. The world is so detailed, and it's a world that you'd really love to visit. There's lots of snow, there's lots of cozy burrows, and you can really identify with the characters even though they're rabbits. It's warm, it's funny, it's also scary, and it is just such a fun adventure to read. I highly recommend it.